Festival. You are listening to SGFR, podcast radio for the festival. Now broadcasting highlights and top picks, your tasty, tantalizing tease for this coming year.
Darryl, it is a delight. It is a sheer joy. Thank you for joining me here in the interview suite for the Strange Games Festival.
And it's lovely to be back. I am very pleased to be with you again.
Let's talk about house games, because I've seen the house games before and they are physically a great deal of fun, though not enough people get soaked, I thought. Darryl, tell us about the house games. Tell us about the house games, do.
Yes, so the origin of the house games was many years ago. The team running the festival decided that what would be nice to have a sort of meta game running through the whole festival where everybody was assigned to a house. Their resulting games would affect the outcome for their house across the whole weekend. It proved quite difficult to manage, but a legacy part of that is that we still have the house games running, because these are a little bit different to everything else. They're quite, well, they're all done outdoors. They're mostly sort of physical. So, for example, we've had three-legged races, we've had sack races, we've had three people lying on the ground with their feet in the air, balancing a bowl full of water on their feet, and they have to get the bowl of water to the ground. We've had blind negotiation of a maze. And so I am hoping to come up with a few more interesting ones this year and a bit more audience participation. I don't force anybody to take part, though I do actively encourage as much participation as possible. I think it's quite a good spectator sport, as you have already hinted at. And it will be taking place, I believe, on the Monday morning on the arena.
Yes, traditionally it's been on the Monday mornings, hasn't it? And it's a refreshing change from heads down board gaming or sitting in a circle trying to spot who done it or who the traitor is. Yeah,
exactly.
Have you ever thought of blending in a traitor mechanic into house games? Probably best not, but have you ever thought?
I think there's a sufficient lack of competence that I don't need to introduce a traitor mechanic. It is about enjoying oneself, and the kids, strangely, usually get into it much more so than the adults. We're all a bit restrained, aren't we? But it's good fun for everybody who takes part.
It's a nice addition. I'm glad. I remember seeing it at one of the first festivals that came along, and it did stand out as being kind of a little bit of a gem amongst the other type of more sedentary type activities.
I think it goes to the heart of what Simon in particular wanted the Strange Games Festival to be. He wanted it to be inclusive. He wanted it to be quite diverse. I mean, on that point, I note the range of attendees, especially from people for whom half-hour card games are the limit of what they'll do, up to people who will play Twilight Imperium, I think it is, for an entire day. And that's quite a range of interests. And something like the archery we've often had in the past, and the climbing and the house games are just part of that, trying to be diverse.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say to that, except to say, Darryl, thank you very much. You are the font of all things wise and wonderful.
Well, the font of all things LARPing, anyway.
Something, so some LARP things that are wise and wonderful.
Okay. And it's always a joy speaking to you.
You've been listening to SGFR, the podcast radio channel for the Strange Games Festival.
This season's hosts have been James, Laura, Andy and Craig.
And if you'd like to come on the show, message us on the Festival Radio channel on the Strange Games Festival Discord server.